So it's not Thursday night, but it is Heelberto's hour. It is my hour, but it's also your hour. And, we have Rams and the 49ers on Thursday Night Football tomorrow night. But, we're going to be breaking down that matchup on House of Horns. So we decided, all right, let's leave House of Horns alone for Thursday night, Rams versus 49ers. But we had to do the show. Fantasy football questions. We need them right now because you need our help, or maybe you just want to talk about it because fantasy football playoffs are happening this weekend. I didn't do too well in one of my leagues here, but Victor did. So you get the best of both worlds here. You get things not to do, and then things you have to do from my good friend Victor. But before we talk about fantasy football and your fantasy football playoffs, because those are very important, we care about them here. Ask us questions again. Some quick news here. Bill Belichick is going to go back to coaching football, just not in the NFL. Going to North Carolina, Chapel Hill there, the Tar Heels. But quick thoughts there, real quick, and let me know in the comments what you think. By the way, about Bill Belichick going to UNC, I think it's a good change of pace for him. The thing with the thing with the NFL and the Patriots, it seemed like both sides got tired of each other, a little stale here. So, hey, for Bill Belichick, why not try something new? The NIL is a whole different game. Maybe it's more like the pro game now. I wouldn't mind seeing Bill Belichick dominate in college football because I'm not gonna lie to you, I can't keep up with college football. There's just too many different changes, rules, conferences, playoff formats. I honestly don't care. I do like watching some of these players that could potentially be pro players, but maybe they'll be better off with Bill Belichick in the game there. But we won't spend too much time on Bill Belichick unless you drop some comments and you want to talk about it. Then we'll talk about it. That's what we do here on Heelberto's Hour. But I'm gonna bring in that voice, that soothing voice, that voice that calms me down, that voice of reason. Victor Javier Corona, how you doing?
Doing good. Yeah, that was a bit of a surprise with the news that came down from Bill Belichick. I guess the thing, I have a question about is I'm starting to wonder, whether or not he just decided, hey, I don't have any offers coming to me, during the off season, so I'm gonna take a job now because I really want to get back into coaching. And the other thing, Gilbert, I'll be interesting to ask you guys next week when we're all together again, and it's did Kraft have something to do with this, because it sounds like there was a bad breakup there. And you know how owners can be, where we saw what happened between Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson, where it took Jimmy Johnson a while to get back into the good graces of Jerry Jones. So we'll see what happens, but it's just it's a bit weird. And I know that his father actually attended the University of North Carolina, so I think that's part of the reason why he wanted to go coach there as well. So, but yeah, it's a
Yeah.
kind of a weird news kind of thing that pop out right before week 15.
Yeah, but obviously it could definitely be a part of that. But I don't mind him trying something new. What else can you do? I guess you could win a bunch more games in the NFL and break the record. But really, who cares?
Yeah.
You're still the greatest coach of all time in the NFL. You have the Super Bowls as a head coach, as a DC. You got the coach Tom Brady. Maybe in a way he's gonna find out, in a year or in a few months and say, you know what, I'm glad nobody gave me a chance in the NFL college game. I wanted to try that. I'm glad I'm here. So hopefully for him it works out.
Yep. Yeah, but we have a lot of games to get to, Gilbert. Week 15 is really stacked with good games.
Oh yeah.
And I guess that's the engagement question for today: is what is the must watch matchup from week 15? We'll get into it, but yeah, there's about 5 or 6 good matchups, which is kind of rare. Usually we're just asking to get 3 out of the weekend, but this is a really good weekend of football.
Yeah, this is a week where, you know, I know I'm in a bunch of pick'em challenges and I'm in the one with you guys too. And you're gonna make fun of me if I finish the last, but this week I don't care. I see so many 50-50 games, a lot of underdogs I want to
Yeah.
support, and I went for it. I think I have like 5 or 6 dogs that I picked outright. And I know I get carried away. That's my flaw here. It does help me out a lot against the spread, but when I go for money lines and straight up pick'ems, it's not the best.
Right.
But I'm hoping this is a chaotic week. I will be pretty upset if a lot of these 50-50 matchups, the favorite wins the game there. So I'm hoping that's not the case here. The last couple weeks have been, not as annoying. I get a couple favorite heavy weeks, but a lot of dogs are covering the spread. I'm always okay with that. I wish more would hit outright, but not really. Like last week, I think a lot of these dogs were just covering, but I think the only one that might have won straight up, actually a couple. I know the Jaguars won, and then the Rams. I know the Rams really helped out a lot of these bookmakers here
Yeah.
beat the Bills. But hopefully, a lot of these dogs finish the job. Like last week, I was hoping the Panthers would finish off the Eagles. That was not the case here. But yeah, a lot of good matchups here. Let me know in the comments. Like Nino just mentioned, Lions and Bills is probably the first one you think about. You got the Packers and the Seahawks on Sunday Night Football. Thursday night's going to be pretty good. 49ers, Rams. I could keep going on and on here. So a lot to break down here for the betting aspect of the NFL Week 15 calendar. But again, we're here to answer fantasy football questions. We're going to be here for an hour, and then the crew from What's Up Bolts to break down Chargers and the Buccaneers will come in after. So stay tuned here for the next 2 hours. But fantasy football, NFL betting, just NFL conversations right here, Heelberto's hour for the next 50-ish minutes or so.
Yeah, we got you covered here. So make sure you send in your questions. All right, Gilbert, we're talking about matchups. We're going to start off with our top 3 matchups of the week. We're going to start off with our headline game of the week, and that is Bills Lions, who Nino just talked about, which is, the Bills at the Detroit Lions. The Lions are 2.5-point favorites. The over under here is 54.5. And the Lions, it's weird when you talk about these two teams because the Detroit Lions have been the doormat for, it seems like, since the beginning of the NFL, the inception of the NFL, they haven't won a title. They haven't even sniffed a Super Bowl in their history. And then you have same thing, two teams that I think if we watch this in the Super Bowl, we'd be happy to get this
Oh yeah.
because it's going to be a lot of scoring in this game. The Bills are coming off a big loss to the Rams, and then the Lions on Thursday night beat the Packers. So where do you want to get started with this matchup?
I'm going to talk about some of the betting aspect here because you know, my story comes out. Yeah, is it tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow, Thursday, my weekly SI betting column, and talking to a couple people. The sense is by kickoff, this line's gonna go probably to a pick 'em, and that tells me that a lot of the sharp play is gonna be on the Bills here. But here we are Wednesday. It hasn't really moved here, so it's either the public doesn't want to touch this game here because the public might be I think it might be Lions or nothing here for the public, but
Yeah,
this game is so 50-50 that I think both sides, the sharps and the public, are like, I don't know what to do here. Like, this is actually a pretty damn good game here. And who's gonna flinch here first? Because maybe if the sharps bring it down and it's a pick 'em, then you go ahead and take the Lions if you're the public. If it's the other way around, and the public's driving up the line for the Lions, go ahead and take the Bills, plus 3, but it's not. It's -2.5, and you will rather have that field goal cushion there. So I think it's a lot of waiting here, and that's kind of strange to me that it hasn't gone down or it hasn't gone up here. So honestly, from looking at this number here, I don't think I will touch it. Like I'd rather get the Lions as a pick 'em or get the Bills as a +3 or +3.5 would be great, but it won't go that high. I feel like, uh, but because of the whole, I don't like the line at all for myself here. But if we're going for a pick 'em or straight pick, I'm going with the Lions here. Uh, because they are the better team. They have better weapons. They have a better defense, a better offense. They're at home. The only thing I'm very concerned about here is this could maybe be the week that all the injuries on the defensive side finally catch up to them. Having to deal with Josh Allen is not
yeah,
easy. But we saw the Rams, allow 42 points to this team a week ago. But at the flip side, the Bills defense also gave up 44 points to the Rams, and I want to say the Lions offense is better than the Rams. So this is a tough match. This is a tough grind for the Bills to go from LA, having to go to Detroit. So I give them respect. I know I'm not high on them when it comes to being a real Super Bowl contender, but I think they could maybe catch the Lions off guard. But just speaking of all that, the Lions are just better than the Rams. They're at home. And they just seem a team. They just seem like they want to be 15-1 or 16-1, right? Now I forget the the record.
yeah,
They just seem like they're on a mission, and I keep thinking maybe they're due for a loss here. It wasn't last week. Maybe it's this week. I don't know. But it's the other. You could take it away after this. The other wrinkle too that makes this game so hard to figure out is they both need the victory for the number one seed. The Bills,
Hmm.
they're still in the race with the Chiefs. Like they're 2 games behind, but they have the head-to-head tiebreaker there. And then the Lions still have the freaking Eagles and the Vikings 1 game behind. So you kind of need this game for number one seed purposes.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I mean, it's such an intriguing game in terms of, when you kind of get to the nitty gritty of both of these teams. As you mentioned, you talked about the line, and I'm kind of surprised because I thought it would be a bigger line for the Lions here at home. They've been able to cover, and you even said like during a couple of weeks back that it's been hard for Vegas to kind of set the lines for the Lions because they've been dominating so much, and especially at home. We know what this team is at home. They've been dominant. They've been a dominant home team, but I think part of it too is like what you saw against the Packers on Thursday night. It was a divisional game, so I understand why it was a lot closer. I thought the Packers had a chance to win that game. They should have won that game. And you're starting to see some of the injuries, come into play here for the Detroit Lions on defense. And we talked about it post game how some you have Dan Campbell being super aggressive, and I think that's where it comes down to for me is I think the talent is there for both teams. Offensively, we know both of these defenses are probably going to struggle in this game. That's why I like the over in this game. That's going to be one of my best bets is the over. We just saw what was it, 80 points from the Rams and the Bills. I can totally see this, going over 70 points if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, I think it comes down to the coaching, Gilbert. I know I've seen the Lions when they win the coin toss, they won the ball right in the first quarter, and we saw the Rams get the ball in the first quarter, and they never gave up the lead. And so I wonder if
Mm.
if this happens, whether the Lions decide, hey, let's get the ball first so we're in control of this game rather than letting the Lions set the tone. So for me, and then the aggressiveness of Dan Campbell, I think that could be something because you talked about it, like, and it's true with Sean McDermott is still a problem with some of his whether it's his clock management or his decision making is still a big problem. So I think this game is gonna just come down to how aggressive Dan Campbell decides to be, and then how does Sean McDermott counter that? And I don't think we can worry about like. And I think one thing that will probably kind of get overshadowed is I'm kind of intrigued with what Joe Brady does and what Ben Johnson does in this because these are going to be the two hottest coaching candidates. When we get to the off season.
Yeah, these are two well coached teams when it comes to the offensive side. I don't know about the head coaching side, but then also I kind of give Joe Brady some crap. I won't give McDermott the full blame on the quarterback sneak at the end with the Rams. But then again, I don't really know who's in charge there sometimes.
Yeah.
But you know what? Let's get to Nino's question
Yep.
for the fantasy football question. But I'll say this, and I'll get your pick right now too, Victor.
Yep.
I'm with Nino on the money line on the Lions here. I don't really like the line for either side here, so why not
Yep.
go money line on the Lions here?
Yeah, he said totally with you. The line situation for this game, I'll also be riding with the Lions. Money line. So he's asked Baker or Herbert if Lad is playing Laporta or Andrews. Then I'll need a wide receiver one flex. AJ Brown, Cup, Lad, James Conner.
Ooh, okay. I don't know if I like either quarterback here because Baker has to face a very good Chargers defense, and then Herbert. Yeah, if Lad's not playing, who the hell are you gonna throw to? I didn't see Herbert's numbers last week against the Kansas City
Oh,
Chiefs.
he hasn't been good the
I was gonna,
last.
yeah,
Yeah, he
I
hasn't
can't
been
can't
good
imagine.
fantasy wise the last 2 weeks, Gilbert. I think he's
Yeah,
he's been under 10 points the last 2 weeks, and then I know what to expect from Baker. He's gonna
yeah.
if Bucky Irving is out in this game, he's gonna throw the ball
Oh
in
yeah,
this game. That's the only way they can win this game. So if you're asking me, I take Baker here over Herbert, and
yeah,
he's hurt. Herbert apparently has a two leg
yeah,
injuries. I saw.
yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, I would encourage anyone to look at the wire. You always could find a good quarterback. Don't I guess don't focus too much on the names there. But if Sam Darnold's out there, I know Sam Darnold's a big wire pickup this week. I will definitely play him against the Bears here. The Bears definitely gave up already. I don't. That's not the same defense without Matt Eberflus. But if you have to go with one of these two, I'm cool with Baker. I go with Victor here. And then even if he has to like face a good defense, like Kate Otten is he's a good player around the line of scrimmage. And then also Rashad White, he's really good at the screenplay. So even if you're kind of doing little dump balls, maybe he takes one for a touchdown. With those two guys, and then obviously you still got Mike Evans. That puts a
Yep.
lot of pressure on this defense too. So I'm okay with that. Laporta or Andrew, Sam Laporta is playing the Buffalo Bills. Laporta's been a little better lately, but I just always worry about too many mouths to feed there. So maybe Mark Andrews could be a good play here. The Ravens are playing the terrible Giants, so that's probably the
Yeah.
better one there.
Hmm.
And then uh, I need one wide receiver to flex. AJ Brown, Cut Blad, James Conner.
I start James Conner. He's going up against the New England Patriots at
Yeah,
home.
it's just so hard to trust the Cardinals right now, but it is a good
Yeah.
matchup, so I'm with you. But I'll say this, and I think you mentioned it maybe last week or no, yesterday, I think. And I get the whole sluggish Eagles passing game here, but something kind of tells me maybe AJ Brown might go off just to shut
Yeah.
people up. But that's kind of in the back of my mind. But I'm okay with James Conner, Andrews, and Herbert. Who did you like on the tight ends, Victor?
Yeah, give me Andrews as well. Like you said, like I know they're trying to get him more involved. They talked about it on one of the broadcasts that they want to get Laporta more involved, but I know that Lamar Jackson loves Mark Andrews, and so it's kind of hard for me to go away from Mark Andrews. And then, in terms of the flex, yeah, you're right. Like the two guys that kind of, you know, came out in the and talked about not getting enough targets, AJ Brown and Debo Samuel. I think those two guys are gonna get some targets this week because of
Yeah.
them being, boisterous about
Yeah,
it.
that's usually the case. You complain,
Yep.
you might get fed. But yeah,
Yep.
let's move on.
All right, and then I give me the Bills in this game. I'm gonna take the Bills in this game. I think that after what happened last week, they're gonna be out for, everybody's gonna count them out, and I'm pretty sure like the majority of the country is gonna go with the Lions here. So why give me the underdog in this game, and I just think, you mentioned that Josh Allen might be the biggest difference in this game in terms of the player on the field. So we'll see. I do have a little bit of a gripe though. I'll say this is that, we cut, we do House of Horns, and I end up watching most of the Rams games. And so my only gripe this weekend with all the nice matchups is that both of the nice matchups are 1 o'clock, matchups in the afternoon here locally on the Pacific time between the Steelers and Eagles and the Buffalo
Yeah.
Bills and Detroit Lions. So I'm not to be switching back and forth. I wish one of these was on, and it was either on Monday night or something. I mean, we're getting a double header on Monday night, which is I
And
don't
they're not even
understand that.
good. They're not even good
Yeah,
games.
they're not even good. Like one of these games should have been on Monday Night Football
Yeah.
by themselves. So but yeah, that's my only gripe here. All right, Gilbert. Our next game is Packers versus Seahawks. The Packers are 3-point favorites, and the over under here is 46.5.
Yeah. I think the line key, I think I saw maybe -2.5 most places, but let me double check. No, I see a couple of threes. So yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
up
I
and
saw
down
it
on
at
that one.
3 as well. Yeah, it
Yeah.
just depends on, you can find it at 2.5, like you mentioned.
Yeah, I will feel a lot better, obviously, just because I'm just to be selfish. I would rather have the Seahawks at plus 3.5, but I'll still take them. I'll still take the Seahawks here. Plus 3 or even plus 2.5 here. I'm starting to buy what they've been doing the last month. Obviously, if they win this game, I'll be a little more committed. I don't feel totally confident, but it's also a little bit about what the Packers have shown me lately. Like it's a tough matchup because the Packers, they beat the Texans, they beat the Cardinals, but they can't beat the Eagles, they can't beat the Vikings, they can't beat the Lions. So there's somewhere like in that middle layer between a Super Bowl contender and a wild card contender, but they're not really a wild card team. And I don't know where the Seahawks fall. Are they more of the wild card hopeful, or are they actually, you know what, they belong with the Packers? They're in that next level too. They're in that second level. That's kind of a little bit lonely in there for the Packers. So we're gonna find out a lot about the Seahawks team. I did punish them a lot because they weren't very good at home early in the year, but they're a totally different team since the bye week. So I'm gonna say that 12th man advantage comes back in this game here. The defense is rolling now with Ernest Jones in the middle there. Mike McDonald has, moved around some pieces, and I like that about Mike McDonald being a first year head coach to say, "Hey, I signed some guys here. I recommended my GM here, Schneider, to draft and sign some guys. I don't like them. Let's try something else here." So that's good for him. A lot of rookie head coaches would have been like, "Hey, I already committed to this guys. I can't get out of this now.
Yeah.
We already paid the guys here." So that was good. It's working. The scheme is working. The thing about the Seahawks, the offense could be hit or miss. Sometimes they're clicking and sometimes they're rolling. And then even when they're rolling, they're still making mistakes because Geno Smith turns the ball over here. But I like Jackson Smith and Jigba. Hey, Zach Charbonnet, anybody finally stepping up? I picked them up last week because I was just hurting at running back, and I did not expect 41 points there. So that was awesome to see. I'm hoping he plays again, just because I don't want to win the sack on our league. I want to win my freaking matchup here to get that over with. But we'll see if Kenneth Walker will play or not. But they kind of feel like evenly matched teams. Now, when I think about it, both sample size here for a full season. So, I'm not totally confident. I still give the Packers some respect here, but I'm taking the home team that's been kind of rolling the last month here. So, why not? Maybe. How about Packers show me something that you're not a pretender by beating the Seahawks? And right now, I'm gonna go with the home team.
Yeah, and you know, one of the things that I just looked at was the fact that at the Seahawks record, they've won 4 in a row, right? So you would assume, okay, they must either be really good at home or really good on the road. They're 4-1 on the road, 5-1 on the road, and 3-4 at home. This game is at home against the Packers team who can play anywhere. I mean, just because they play in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and so they're used to playing in bad elements. I think this is going to be a good matchup, a good test for the Seahawks in terms of where do we see them going from here? Now, we saw them lose in overtime to the Rams, and then as you mentioned, they faced the Cardinals twice, and then I forget who they faced in between there.
They
And
beat the
so
Jets.
they've huh? The
They beat the
Jets.
Jets.
Yeah, so that doesn't tell me a lot in terms of what I have seen that they've gotten a lot better play from Leonard Williams. Ernest Jones has been a great addition, a great trade from the Titans. And so like he's been able to turn this defense around. He's got the ingredients he needs to have a really good defense. So now I kind of want to see it against this matchup because as you said, I think it's kind of a prove it. Like, can you, if you're the Packers, can you beat a top tier team if we consider the Seahawks that? And then if you're the Seahawks, can you do what you've been doing to a really good team like the Packers, especially offensively? Because we know what Matt LaFleur can do offensively. So I think that's the thing that I think we both want to kind of see is what happens with these two on Monday? Like, do we say, okay, are the Packers are a legit Super Bowl contender because they rolled the Seahawks, or do the Seahawks say, hey, we haven't played well at home, but we're going up against a good team here, and we were able to beat them. So what we've been doing lately isn't a fluke. So yeah, and I give me the Packers here. I like the Packers in this game. I'll take the points.
Yeah, if the Packers beat the Seahawks, I'm gonna be like, I don't care. But if the Seahawks beat the
Yeah,
Packers, I'm gonna care a lot. It's weird,
yeah.
but I think the Packers are in their own tier. It's weird. They're like kind of lonely there. They're just not part of the big three in my eyes. And but if the Seahawks beat them, I'll put them in the Packers tier right now. So I could definitely see why the Packers are the favorites in this game.
Yeah, and we'll see. I mean, like I said, this is a sneaky good game, and I have no, like, I thought about it and I was like, why is this game on Sunday night? But the more, like, now with the 4-game winning streak by the Seahawks, I kind of like it on Sunday night. I like, and I like when they go to, on you get the whole nation in Seattle. We've seen how good those fans are when how ruckus they can be. and so the 12. So I yeah, I'm good with this being a Sunday night game. I would have preferred that, either the Bills and Lions game, or even the Steelers and Eagles was in prime time, but I'm okay with that. Like, it's sometimes these networks aren't going to give up games, and
Mhm.
I get it.
Yeah. What's the next one we got here?
All right, our third one is Steelers at the Philadelphia Eagles. 5.5 point favorites are the Eagles. 42.5 is the over under. We know the drama that's been coming out. The Eagles win. They should have probably lost, Gilbert. If you really watched that game,
Oh yeah.
the receiver for the Panthers should have missed a catch there near the end zone. He would have rolled in, and they would have been the Eagles there. But a lot of stuff, a lot of unhappy Eagles fans coming out of that win versus the Carolina Panthers. And then you have a Steelers team who's just pretty much been taking care of business. Their defense continues to dominate, and then whatever they get out of their offense is just gravy. So, where do you want to start with this matchup?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Steelers, and this would have been a perfect week to just keep having Mike Tomlin prove me right. Like the Steelers have probably been one of my, besides the Chiefs, the Steelers have been one of those teams that just making me look good when it comes to just straight out pick'ems. But I just can't go with them without George Pickens, and you're facing a very good Eagles defense. But I will definitely take Mike Tomlin when it comes to against the spread. I will take the plus 5.5 here. They're gonna make life hard for Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown with a very good defense. I get the secondary is a little shaky, but man, TJ Watt's a game record. Alex Heisman is back now healthy. They have Patrick Queen in the middle. They have some good players all around. So it kind of to me feels like, wow, you're gonna give me 5.5 points here for the Steelers. It's not a long road trip. I get the Eagle fans are a little rowdy there, but I do believe there's something there with the whole AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts thing in terms of not clicking. I don't care about the whole friends thing. Like if you're not friends, so what? I don't care. You guys are still 11-2. You went to a Super Bowl not too long ago. Like if you have, like you didn't just start not liking each other because of the Panthers game. This has been going on for maybe a year now or whatever. AJ Brown resigned there knowing that he didn't have the best relationship. If that's the case with Jalen Hurts, I think they're professional, they're cordial, and that's good enough for me. I care more about not being on the same page on the football field. I don't get why AJ Brown's complaining when they're winning games and Saquon Barkley is doing well for them. But I get it. Eventually, you're gonna need that passing game to step up for you. So why not bring it up now to fix it? And that's just AJ Brown's way to bring it up. It's a very poor way to bring it up. It's kind of a diva way to bring it up, but also it's not his fault that Brandon Graham, opened his mouth and misspoke about the whole friendship thing there. So, uh, there's something there, but not too much. But I just feel like the Steelers defense is that good. I like Mike Tomlin. I'm even buying into Russell Wilson, but no George Pickens. I can't bring myself to pick him. Like that actually kind of rhymed there. But if
Yeah.
George Pickens was there, I would have probably picked the Steelers. Even then, I think if he was there, the Eagles would still be the trending pick here because there's some people don't really believe in the Steelers team, and so far they made me look right. I get that maybe when you're playing the Ravens and the Bengals, that's easier because you know those teams are in a division. You don't know the Eagles as well, so maybe it's a little riskier this week. But I will take the points here. I just can't bring myself to pick the Steelers out right here.
Yeah, and I don't blame you for what for not picking the Steelers here and at least having them cover. My thing is, I think the biggest thing for me watching this game is getting this is watching the Eagles offensive line going up against that Steelers front
Mhm.
seven. I just want to see if what we've been seeing from the Eagles offensive line, if they can continue that against a the probably the best front seven in football right now. And so it'll be interesting to see if Saquon Barkley gets going in this matchup. I'm kind of glad that personally as a fantasy owner of Saquon Barkley, that I don't have to deal, I don't have to play this week, going up against that Steelers defense. So I know, but I'm still interested to see what happens there. And as you said, I think that's where this game is gonna come down to. We know how good the Eagles defense has been as well with Big Fangio now. They lead the league. I think it's between them and the Chargers as the two teams who have allowed the lowest amount of points this season. So yeah, and the Panthers had a really good game plan. I'll be interesting to see what the Steelers, how much of that they use from seeing that game against the Panthers. But it should be one of those games. I imagine it's going to be a low scoring game. I don't know what you think, Gilbert.
Yeah, that one's on my radar because it keeps going down, and it's at 42 points here. And part of me kind of wants to feel like that's kind of low scoring for two very good teams, but I get it. No George Pickens. You have to face the very tough Eagles defense, and then on the flip side, Saquon Barkley and AJ Brown can get on the same page. Now you got to try to get on the same page with TJ Watt in town. Good luck with that. So I could definitely maybe see kind of a slugfest here. Like a 20-17 game. I will take the under. I know a lot of money's on the under right now, but man, 42 is pretty low for two very good teams. But I think I will go with that right now. What about you?
Yeah, it's just because it keeps going down, I might take the over. If this was like a little bit like if it was 45, I take the under. It's just you like you said, it just keeps going down, and you're just like, at what point
Yeah.
do you feel okay with some of the combined score here? So, yeah,
I could
it
totally
would
see 23-20 and they goes over by half a point.
yeah, yeah, and see, that's the thing. That's where I'm looking at it too, Gilbert. So yeah, but that takes care of our top three matchups. Let's get to our betting locks of the week. Our week 15 best bets from yourself and me. And then just to kind of update people, I've just pretty much started to run away with this now. It's 121 to 101. Let the people know how we do our best bets, Gilbert.
Yeah, and once again, don't be shy. Ask us any fantasy football questions that you have in mind. I know we're not on the right day or the right time. Usually we are on after Thursday night football. Like pretty late actually. And usually we get some good crowds after that. People are
Yep,
watching the game. But if you're watching the replay, also don't hesitate. Give us some questions, and we'll try to answer them because it is a big week fantasy football playoffs. But yeah, don't be shy about that. And for this here, for the best bets here, we do top five scores. I fell behind here. Victor just keeps going perfect. He's actually like 10-0 the last 2 weeks here. So that is pretty impressive. I can't even be mad at that. But the 5-pointer is your first bet that you mentioned here on the show.
yep.
That's the most confidence that you have in that bet. Then the second one would be the 4-pointer, 3-pointer, 2-pointer, 1-pointer, and so on here. So I'm trying to catch up to Victor. So I'm actually glad that he put his bets in first this week. It's usually the other way around. So I
Yep,
went everything opposite. There's some bets that I like from Victor this week. I'm not gonna lie, I like some of
yep.
these, but I had to go opposite just because I'm trying to catch up and make it a race for the last couple of weeks here.
All right, here's your number five, Gilbert. Start us off.
Yeah, I'm not sure this was your best bet, but I know you went Packers, so we're
Yep.
sticking to the theme here of going with against Victor here, and I already mentioned why I like the Seahawks here. I you know It shouldn't be my top 5, but it's one of these weeks where I'm like, "All right, I just wanna see some dogs hit," and,
Yeah,
the Seahawks are they're a good dog. They're at home, they're rolling right now, and I don't even think the Packers are that good. They're a good team, but they're not, the top of the class in the NFC, so I said, "What the hell? Give me them for the 5-pointer." I'm gonna have some fun. If I'm gonna go down swinging and have fun with it.
yeah. I like the Packers in this game, but I'm with you. I just it was hard for me to take the Packers here with the points. Especially at home, like I said, they haven't played as well at home as they have on the road, which is kind of weird to say for a Seahawks team because usually they're really dominant at home. But yeah, maybe they've turned things around, and yeah, the 2.5 is pretty good. You can't hate on that.
Yeah,
All right,
and
uh-huh,
this
go ahead.
is
Sorry.
where I know for sure we disagree, and
Yes.
people will not like this because the people keep calling me a Chargers hater. But I said, why not? I got to catch up to Victor, and the Chargers have been good for you, Victor. So you know
Yeah.
what? I'm gonna go the opposite way here. So give me the Buccaneers plus 2.5. And we kind of talked about it earlier for Nino's question. I think Baker Mayfield is gonna be a gamer. I get that. They lost their safety, all pro safety, and Antoine Winfield Jr. I don't feel good about Bucky Irving's status being up in the air. He has a back injury. He did not look good at all when he tried to play last week. But they still got Rashad White. They got Sean Tucker to be a backup running back. I love Kate Auden. And Mike Evans is back too. So this could be a
Mhm.
very tough matchup here. So I wish I got a little more points here, but that kind of shows you the respect here of the Buccaneers that they have on the road against a very good opponent. I was hoping I get like a plus 3.5, but not. So, but we did not. So I'll still roll with the dice here with the Buccaneers.
I wonder if this game gets bet down to a pick 'em, because I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way you do in terms of betting on the Buccaneers here with the line. So it'll be interesting to see it by the time the game kicks off whether this is close to a pick 'em. I mean, it's pretty much that, Gilbert, if I'm being completely honest, because you get 3 points for being the home team, and so that pretty much tells you that it's pretty much a pick 'em game at this point. But you get to 1 point there, we'll see what happens. Especially if people continue to bet it down for the Buccaneers. But yeah, no,
Yeah,
I'm yeah,
I was gonna say it should be a good challenge for the Chargers defense. Like I know
yeah,
they got a lot of crap for giving up points to the Bengals and the Ravens, and I don't know if I give them too many points for holding down the Chiefs twice because they're divisional rivals. If you hold down Baker Mayfield and that
yeah.
offense, I'll start saying this defense is actually legit. It's hard to kind of tell because they've had an easy schedule, and then the two teams that with good offenses when they faced them, they gave up a lot of points here. So it's a good challenge for the Chargers defense.
Yeah, and I mean, I saw most of that Raiders game against the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers came out hot. They scored the first 14 points, and then they were just they the Raiders defense clamped down on them, which was kind of weird. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what team we get from the Buccaneers here. All right, you're number three.
Yeah, I'll be quick here, and then we'll answer Izzy's question here. We already kind of went over this one, so I'm taking the points here for the Steelers. Mike Tomlin,
Yes.
T.J. Watt, no George Pickens, but hey, 5.5 is pretty good in the NFL. So
Yeah.
between two good teams like that, I'll take the 5.5.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I when I saw like how like that, this is one where I guess the money's coming in on the Eagles because it got I think it was at 4 or maybe even 3.5, and it's been betting now to 5.5 now. So you can see where the money's going now. We have a question here from Izzy. Says, Yo compas, quien pongo in flex, Higgins, Cup, or Montgomery? Small league, by the way, must win too. So who would
Uh,
you put in the slot there?
the
I
Bengals are
mean,
playing the Titans. The Titans are crap, but they have a decent defense. Uh, Cup, he's kind of been the second fiddle to Puka Nakua. I always go Montgomery, but
yes,
yeah, are we agree there?
yes,
Because I always go
yes.
Montgomery for me.
Yeah, and I mean, we just saw what Kyron Williams did to the Buffalo Bills.
Hmm.
They play the most 5 to 6 DVs on the field. Yeah, like that's the biggest. This is why I like the Bills and the Lions to score over 60 points in this game. Between the two teams, and yeah, Montgomery and Gibbs are going to eat in this game because they're going to want to run the ball in this game. So yeah, like I'm a little bit more cautious in terms of the pass catchers for the Lions, but yeah, I'm starting both Gibbs and Montgomery in this matchup.
I think every week just give Montgomery 6 points in fantasy because he's gonna get at least one touchdown. Like
Yep.
just get to that point. Like he has such a good floor. And I know the ceiling is not too high for Montgomery because he had to share the load with Gibbs, but he's pretty much guaranteed to give you 15 points every week, and I'll take that any day.
Yeah, and you're getting like over 10 points from both guys for last time I checked. So, yeah, you
Hmm.
can't go wrong with that. Like, do you want the guarantee or do you want the up? You don't know what you're going to get from Higgins and Cup. Like, you're touchdown dependent on both of those guys because, you know, Puka Nakua is going to get the share of the targets, and the same thing with Shamar Chase. So, at least with Montgomery, like you just said, you're gonna at least get one touchdown from him. It's him or Gibbs. And from what I've seen from the Lions, they like to script a lot of their plays early on, and a lot they give Montgomery a lot of volume early on, and then they bring on
Hmm.
Gibbs for like the second drive. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's
good
just
point.
something to keep in mind. All right, Gilbert, you're number two.
Yeah, I got a little lucky last week with the block punt and the Bengals
Yeah.
cover for me. That was one of the few that I got right. I think I got like 2 right last week, and I'm like, "Oh, I need to get this one." And I thought they're gonna steamroll the Cowboys. They did not. I got lucky, but why not? Bengals against another bad team. I'll take them against the Titans here. How do you lose to the Jaguars? I don't care that your defense is at least respectable. Like you still lost 10-6 to the Jaguars. So uh
Yeah.
man, I don't know what's going on with the Titans, man. I thought we would see a little better from them, but we don't. To lose to the Jaguars, that's pretty difficult. So give me the Bengals to cover here.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. Mine, the one that was similar to what happened for you and the Bengals and Cowboys, was that Jets Dolphins. I was like, oh, I'm
Oh yeah, touchdown.
the Dolphins are gonna ruin it for me. And then they went to overtime and they covered by by 1 point. So yeah, I I got saved there by them going into overtime. All right, you're number one.
I was trying to think of another one. Actually, that could have happened to me with the Saints and the
The
Giants,
Giants.
and
Yeah,
then that's the other one I got right. And then when he missed
yeah,
the field goal, I'm like, thank God, I don't want to go to overtime, and then they blow this cover here.
yeah.
But okay, so give me. I'm going back. They burned me last
I'm
week.
surprised you're 0-2 with the Raiders the last 2 weeks,
No, I got
man.
them the week before. I got them,
Uh,
or unless
oh,
it's,
yeah, 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 you're right. You're 1
but
and 1.
I got them for
You're
the Black Friday game. But I think you're
yes,
talking about the Dolphins one. I'm like 1-2. The Dolphins game in Miami for the Raiders. The Raiders did not cover, but they covered
right.
against the Chiefs. And I went back. I got greedy, and they burned me against the Buccaneers. But this is why I take the Raiders here, the +4. They're at home. Put any kind of pressure on Kirk Cousins, you're probably gonna
Yeah,
get 2 interceptions, maybe one's a pick six. So I'm going off of that. Give me Max Crosby to help me out with a cover here against Kirk Cousins, who can't even move. The Raiders are actually getting some good pressure there. I almost got scared off here with the quarterback situation. Like I think maybe there's a chance.
yeah, he
Aaron
practiced today, Aiden O'Connell, so yeah,
I
there is
I kind of want Desmond Ritter though. Like I want a
yeah, the
revenge
revenge
game. Give
game.
me a revenge game. So I
Yeah,
it's weird, but I'd rather
right,
have Desmond here just to kind of stick it to the Falcons. But I can't get off the mindset of thinking Max Crosby is gonna make life miserable for Kirk Cousins. Give me the Raiders here. And I don't know what the hell Raheem Morris is doing, man. Like he kind
yeah.
of seems content going down with the sinking ship that is Kirk Cousins right now. But hey, I get it. You have a plan for the quarterback situation. You don't want to lose patience, but man, it's not looking good.
Yeah, I do wonder if it's coming from management because of the fact that they paid him all that money. And so I think, I don't know if it's ownership, but we know front office wanted Michael Penix Jr. So
That's true.
yeah, we'll see what happens. It's kind of a weird situation there, but I know the Vikings look really good right now because they were like, "Yep, we're good." All right, we have Michael Lopez here, McCormick or Pete Taylor, full PPR.
Michael, good question. And I just wanted to have fun in my league because I'm not doing anything in the playoffs for my league, and I wanted to be a dick, but it didn't work out in my favor. I thought Patrick Taylor, somebody's gonna, put a bunch of money, and I wasted all my web on it, and I only got like another bidder. It was fun when the Gorendo one from the week before, like 8 people bid for him, and I made somebody spend 85 of their wire money. And this week nobody
Yep,
really chased Patrick Taylor, and I get it because he's the fourth option. At some point, it's kind of like, okay, not everybody could be good in the Kyle Shanahan scheme. If this guy goes off, maybe I could go off in this running back scheme here. So I wasted all my money for nothing here. I probably won't even play him, Vic.
right.
Taylor here, but the Rams don't have the best defense. They are a little, they're not too bad against the run because they have a good front there.
Right.
And McCormick has been, it's tough though because I'll let you have the better answer here because uh at some point Taylor, you're the fourth option. Can you be that good? And then when McCormick, I've seen him. He's actually been pretty good. He's solid. It's just
Yeah.
he plays for the Raiders. That's the only thing. It's
Right.
like would you rather go with the better system or with the guy that you've seen play the last couple of weeks and have been not bad?
Yeah. No, I would go with McCormick here just because they haven't ruled out Garendo, so that's part of the problem. So you don't know how much you're gonna get of
That's true.
Taylor here. And McCormick is pretty much the guy right now for the Raiders. They like what they're seeing. He's not only just running the ball, but he's also like they're involving him in the screen game, which is when you're doing a full PPR, that's something that you really want because you get a point for every catch. So if I had to choose between these two, I'm going with McCormick here.
Yeah, and the
And
Falcons are not that good
yeah,
defensively.
exactly. Yep, exactly. They're not
Okay,
that good
all right.
of
I thought that's
yeah,
maybe where you'll go. Like I get Taylor plays
yeah.
for the 49ers,
Now,
but
now, if Garando and Jordan Mason are ruled out, then then you have something to think about there because Taylor is probably going to get the majority of the carries there.
yeah, so we'll see how
Yeah.
that one plays. I'm gonna keep an eye on it, but I'm okay with Sincere McCormick. There was one week where I started Abdullah, and I was annoyed when McCormick was getting
Yeah.
the touches there, but he did give me some I think punt return yards, which I didn't know we had that in our league, and it actually played off
Yeah.
pretty well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Johnny G wants to get us in trouble, but we will not
No,
acknowledge
I know
that.
I saw
But
that, but thank you,
Johnny
Johnny
G,
G. We do
uh,
appreciate the comments.
yeah, yeah, it's a rivalry week. I get it, but yeah.
Yep. All right, let me give you my five best bets. I'm rolling with the Bills and Lions here as the 54.5 over. Like I said, both of these teams have scored over 30 points. I forget. I think the Bills have scored over 30 points the last during their winning streak, and then even in losing to the Rams. And so, like I said, even last week when I had the over, I was like, if they're scoring over 30 points, I can assure you the Lions are going to score over 30 points here. So I think this game's going to go over 60. I just have a feeling, unless they just decide, you know what, we're going to keep the ball away from Josh Allen, and we're gonna control the clock and not let the Bills. So I just don't see that. Both of these teams are gonna make it a high scoring game. My number four, I'm going back to the well here, Gilbert. In the last six games, Gilbert, the Chargers are 6-1 against the spread. Um, yeah, give me the Chargers -3. I know you had it at 2.5. I saw it at 3. I'm okay with either one, even if it's a push, I'll take it. But I just like I said, I'm gonna keep rolling here with the Chargers. They've been the best team against the spread the last 7 weeks, so why not continue the trend there? This was one of my games that I really, really liked was the Colts +4 versus the Broncos. Um, Ever since Anthony Richardson got benched and he's been back, he's played a lot better. The only time, even against the Eagles when they lost, I think it was against the Eagles, he looked really good. He wasn't the reason they lost. Um, Jonathan Taylor is still there. Their defense is starting to pick up. They're starting to get healthy. And I'm not a believer in the Broncos. We saw what happened against the Browns. They probably would have lost that game if Jameis Winston just doesn't decide to just throw the ball away, with those pick sixes. So yeah, I and then the Colts, they're 6-7. If the Texans lose against the Dolphins, this sets up that them trying to get back into winning the division. I don't see it, but there is a chance there for them to get back into it. My number two here, I like the Rams +2.5 versus the 49ers on Thursday night. As we talked about, the Rams are 6-2. And then last time they beat the 49ers, I think it was in week 3. Uh, Puka didn't play. Cooper Cup didn't play. A bunch of their guys, their offensive line, to Steve Avila, Jonah Jackson were out. So you get them healthy here. The 49ers are starting to get healthy. They'll have it sounds like they'll have Hufanga, and they'll have Dre Greenlaw make his season debut as well. So it'll be a good matchup. I just think it's going to be a close game. And I like the Rams here at +2.5. And then the last couple of weeks, I've taken the highest spread and it's hit for me. So I'm gonna do it again just to kind of continue the trend here. Giants +15 here. They're going back to Tommy DeVito. Maybe that kind of helps them out, but I don't care as long as they cover here. I'm sure the Ravens will probably win by 2 touchdowns, but as long as it's within 15, give me the Giants.
Yeah, it's gone up now to +16. So
Oh, there we go.
people are still betting the Ravens, which I will not. I want it's either Ravens money line or nothing. I can't really trust the Giants, but I would not take the Ravens and lay the points here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't. That's a 1 pointer. That's worth the shot here. I was sweating for the Giants to cover against the Saints, so
Yeah.
we'll see how they do with the +15 against the Ravens here. But I really like their Colts one. I wanted to take that one, but then I'm like, I gotta catch up. I gotta find a way to get back in here, so I did not take that one. So I'm hoping you go 0-5 and I go 5-0 to make it
Yeah.
right here. But we
And
will
honestly,
see.
these can go either way because, like, I'm just going off of, I'm like, this is the last 2 weeks have been perfect. So I'm like, I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing and I don't want to go away from it. All right, Gilbert, let's get to quick dump offs to close the show out. The Washington Commanders are 7.5 point favorite. The over under is 43.5 at New Orleans Saints. I don't. I think Derek Carr's in the concussion protocol, so depending on what happens with him, we will see how New Orleans goes about it. But this should be a big game, easy game for the Commanders to win.
You know what? Because they're trying to rush us. Get in the show, Dan, so that way we can stall longer here. I see you in the green room, Dan. You want to jump on? Give me a thumbs up because they,
There we
uh,
go. Here, hold
yeah,
on. Let me.
but yeah,
There we
there.
go.
Here I am.
Yeah, is this you trying to tell us to hurry up? That
It's
so
time for Heelberto's hour and a half with himself to be over. Come on over to What's Up Bulls, baby. We're starting right now.
okay, we got 2 more minutes to go. How about you give some input after each
Yeah,
pick here?
yeah. Since you're here, who do you
This is the
like,
last
Washington
segment.
Commanders or the New Orleans Saints to cover here?
I don't even know what that means. What does cover mean? Stay within the points, or
Who do you think
Yes.
wins, the Commanders or the Saints? How about that?
Yeah.
who's gonna win?
Yeah.
Yes.
Probably the Commanders. Saints, I
Okay.
don't think are good. Oh, don't they have their backup quarterback too?
Yes, there you
Yes.
go.
Yeah,
I'll
I
take
don't
the
know how much more
Commanders and I'll
trust them.
take them to cover too. I know it's a big line, but they have
Same
the
here.
backup.
Same
All right.
here.
What
All
we
right,
got?
Miami Dolphins at Houston Texans.
Oh, Dan
The
will like this
Texans
one.
are 3 point favorites, and the over under here is 47.
What do you got, Dan?
Yeah, I would take the Texans. I don't trust Miami as far as I can throw them.
And Dan would definitely take the points here. He has no faith, no belief in Tua. What do you call him? The flying what?
The throwing Samoan.
there you go. Yeah. Also,
throwing
give me
Samoan.
Houston -3. What do you say, Vic?
Give me Miami here. I think Houston is way overrated here.
You
And
mean one
if
of
it was
Alberto's teams overrated? What?
yeah,
They're playing
Yeah.
the Dolphins, so I'm okay this week.
yeah. All right, next one is New York Jets are 3 point
Oh,
favorites at
Jesus.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, give me the Jaguars here. Screw the Jets, man. Give me the +3.
Who do you
I'll
got
go-
then?
I'll go with Dr. Aaron Rodgers. Maybe he squeaks one out of this one.
I still can't believe the Jets are still favorite. How many times have they been favored this year? And like, yeah.
I don't know.
You know what? Man, this is such a terrible game to pick. Give me the Jaguars. I don't know why. I guess because I want them to I want them to keep winning so the Raiders have a higher draft pick. I'll say it that way.
That's pretty good
I-
right there.
Yeah. All right. Kansas City Chiefs are 4 point favorites at the Cleveland Browns.
Dan, you
By
can
the
start.
way, the last 7 games, the Chiefs are 0-7 against the spread.
Dan, what do you have?
I'm gonna say maybe famous Jameis ekes one out, just like he did a few weeks ago, where no one believed.
Yeah, you know what? I'll take the Chiefs here, but yeah, I'm done trying to take the Chiefs to cover. So give me the points for the Browns, but I'll take the Chiefs to win.
Yeah, same. Give me the Chiefs, and then the Browns will cover. All right, 3 more guys. Dallas Cowboys at the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers have now 3 point favorites.
I'll start with this one, and I'm so annoyed that everybody's going with the Panthers. All of a sudden, people like the Panthers. That to me, when people are following the same team, I don't want any part of it. I think the Panthers are going to win. My heart's going for the Panthers, but I'm taking the Cowboys to cover +3 here.
Dan, who do you got?
Give me Micah Parsons tissues.
There you go. I think that's a +3 he's taking.
There you go.
Give me the Cowboys in this one. All right, next
Okay.
one, the New England Patriots at the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals are 6 point favorite. I should say Gilbert's Cardinals are 6 point favorites.
Exactly.
Go. What do you have to say about the Cardinals, Dan?
That the new Call of Duty dropped. I'm sure it's been hard for him to play because a new zombie mode dropped. There's a new map on Call of Duty, so it probably hasn't been easy for your boy.
Yeah, you know what? Then just because you said that, I will take the Cardinals to win, but I'll say the Patriots keep it close and cover +6.
Yeah, I'm with you, Cardinals, but the Patriots cover here. And then our last one here is the Chicago Bears at the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are 6.5-point favorites.
It's all the games where either I'm rooting for them and they always lose, or I go against them and they always win. So this is
That's
a
the greatest
perfect here. You know what? I'll take Minnesota here, and they cover this big line. Screw the Bears here.
Yeah, the Minnesota Vikings are going to win.
Yeah, same. We'll make it a sweep here. All right, guys, that's it. That's
it, Dan.
our full preview there.
Time for What's Up, Bolts?
Yeah, do a promo and we'll get out of here.
Let's
and end the show.
go! Everybody, hop on over to What's Up, Bolts. Talk a little Baker Mayfield, a little Charger football, a little Jim Harbaugh just staring off into space in press conferences, saying what? What?
No, you said
Everybody.
that.
Oh, yeah, I did, yeah. But anyway, jump on over to What's Up, Bolts. I'm out of here. See you later. I'm sorry you had to endure Heelberto's hour and a half with himself, just
It's
rambling.
55 minutes.
You know how it goes, dude. I just make it up half the time, even if it's not true. All right, I'm hopping out. See you guys later.
All right, later.
Thank you for joining, Dan. Let's get the hell out of here. Yes, check out What's Up, Bolts. Like Dan said, if that doesn't get you going, nothing will. So Buccaneers versus Charger for a full breakdown. You want for a full breakdown for 49ers and the Rams Thursday Night Football, check out House of Horns. All those videos that we have on What's Up, Bolts or House of Horns, we have it here on the main channel, Compas on the Beat. But yeah, subscribe to those channels too, and be a compa, tell a compa about Compas on the Beat. I know we're on a different time here, a little earlier. No Thursday Night Football game to talk about, but we still got a good crowd. Thank you, Nino. Thank you, Izzy. Thank you, Michael, and even you, Johnny G. Big time game tomorrow. So we got to discuss our schedule for the holidays and next week. We'll try to let you guys know what's going to happen here. But yeah, we like doing the show here. I know sometimes it's a little quiet because we're not consistent with the date and time. But we appreciate you by being flexible. But we'll try to make it work and end out the season on a strong note here. But it's time to get going because What's Up, Bolts is tired of waiting. Ya nos vamos. Pues vámonos.